Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I make new videos every other week, so be sure if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on my bell notifications so you don't miss a thing. This video honestly was a complete disaster, but I was able to save it somehow, so for entertainment's sake, I decided to share this with you guys. So let's get right into it. So I originally used this recipe a little while back for my 100th subscriber video, but I did a tiny bit of adjusting on this recipe to fit it into the pan size I was using here. First I put in 3/4 cup of softened butter and 1 cup of sugar, and I creamed that together until it was all fluffy like this. Next I put in 1 tablespoon of ground flax seeds and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. And then I added 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and I did only 1 here, but I added in the rest later. I'm then adding in 2 cups of flour very slowly so it doesn't go everywhere. Then I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and I am stirring that all in. I'm also adding in 2 tablespoons of almond milk to pull this all together and make it into a proper dough. And finally, I am adding in 1/2 cup of mini chocolate chips, and I'm folding those in. To make sure the cookie cake came out of this pan, I drew a little circle on a piece of paper and put it under the parchment paper so that while I was cutting it, it would be a perfect fit for the pan. I also left a few pieces on the side so that I could get this out by lifting it up out of the pan, and it was super easy and worked perfectly. I also decided to try and make some mini ones too since I had some leftover batter. Because this was extra thick, I had to bake this for so long. I originally had this in at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes and it still wasn't done, so I put the heat down to 300 degrees Fahrenheit and I kept it in for around 35 minutes to an hour and I left it to cool overnight. The plan for this cake originally was to have a brownie layer too. I made this from a box mix that was vegan, but when I substituted the eggs that the recipe called for aquafaba, I think that's what did it for me because I could not get this to bake for the life of me. I had this brownie in the oven for 4 hours at various temperatures and it still just would not bake, and I don't know how, but this brownie turned out raw and burnt at the same time. I even tried transferring this batter into a different pan and baked it for an additional 2 hours and it still just would not bake. I just gave up on it. I really thought the mini version of the brownies that I made would be fine, so I assembled it and put the frosting on top. I had high expectations, but when I cut into it, it was just completely raw, so I just focused on making this cookie cake the best it could be. Once I was ready to frost the cookie cake, I tried seeing how many cookies would fit in the center of the cake, and then to sort of glue them down onto the cake, I put a layer of frosting, then a layer of Oreos, and to top it all off, a nice thick layer of frosting. To make this extra fancy, I added a scoop of vegan vanilla ice cream and a light dusting of cocoa powder on top, and it was so good. If you would like to make this, I have a link to the recipe I used down below for you to check out. And if you would like to see some of my original vegan recipes, I will leave the link to those in the description box below for you to check out if you're interested. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on my bell notifications so you don't miss a thing. Stay safe, stay healthy, make choices, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, loves.